Picture this. A vast army is closing in behind you, and in front of you lies an impassable sea. Your back is against the wall, and escape seems impossible. Now imagine that sea splitting open before your eyes, creating a path of dry ground. This is the story of one of the most dramatic moments in the Bible, when God delivered his people Israel by parting the Red Sea. Biblical context. After decades of brutal slavery in Egypt, God raised up Moses to lead his people to freedom. Pharaoh, however, refused to let Israel go, even after 10 devastating plagues. Finally, after the Passover, when the angel of death passed over the Israelites' homes marked by the blood of a lamb, Pharaoh relented. Israel left Egypt in great numbers, about 600,000 men plus women and children, led by Moses, Exodus 12:37. But Pharaoh soon changed his mind and pursued them with his army. The Israelites camped by the Red Sea, and when Pharaoh's chariots appeared, the Israelites panicked. They cried out to Moses, "Is it because there are no graves in Egypt that you have taken us away to die in the wilderness? What have you done to us in bringing us out of Egypt? It would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the wilderness." Exodus 14:11-12. In their fear, they even questioned God's deliverance. Moses reassured the people, "Fear not, stand firm and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will work for you today. The Lord will fight for you, and you have only to be silent." Exodus 14:13-14. Then the Lord instructed Moses, "Lift up your staff and stretch out your hand over the sea and divide it, that the people of Israel may go through the sea on dry ground." Exodus 14:16. As Moses obeyed, the Red Sea parted. A strong east wind blew all night, pushing back the waters and forming a wall of water on either side, and the Israelites walked through on dry land. Exodus 14:21. The Egyptians pursued them into the sea, but at daybreak, the Lord looked down on the Egyptian army and threw them into a panic. Exodus 14:24. He caused their chariot wheels to clog, and then Moses stretched out his hand again, and the sea swept back into place. The waters overwhelmed Pharaoh's army. Not one of them survived. Exodus 14:28. Israel, on the other side, saw the Egyptians dead on the shore, and they feared the Lord and believed in the Lord and in his servant Moses. Exodus 14:31. Moses and Miriam then led the people in a song of praise to the Lord, celebrating his deliverance. Exodus 15:1-21. The parting of the Red Sea is more than a spectacular miracle. It is a divine drama that declares God's supremacy. By defeating Pharaoh's army in the sea, God showed that he is greater than the false gods of Egypt, including any deity associated with the waters. The event also prefigures baptism and salvation in Christian theology. The Apostle Paul notes that Israel were all baptized into Moses in the cloud and in the sea, 1 Corinthians 10:2, signifying a cleansing and a new beginning. Just as Israel passed through the waters to freedom, so Christians pass through baptismal waters into new life in Christ. Romans 6:3-4. Furthermore, the Passover and the Red Sea together form a picture of redemption. The blood on the doorposts saved the Israelites from death, and the passage through the sea brought them into freedom. This is a foreshadowing of how Jesus' blood saves us from sin and death, and faith in him brings us into the freedom of God's kingdom. The Exodus event is often referred to as the defining moment of Israel's identity. It taught them to trust that God keeps his promises and delivers his people. Even when it seemed all was lost, God's timing and power prevailed. The Red Sea crossing teaches us to trust God in impossible situations. Like the Israelites, we may sometimes feel trapped, whether by circumstances, fears, or even our own mistakes. The lesson is to fear not, and to remember that God is with us. Isaiah 41:10. When we are obedient to God's leading, like Moses stretching out his staff, he will make a way where there seems to be no way. We should also be careful not to panic or doubt in the storm. Instead, we can pour out our hearts to God and wait on his deliverance. Just as the Israelites sang a song of praise after their deliverance, we too should respond to God's faithfulness with gratitude and worship. In daily life, this means cultivating an attitude of trust. Even when the path ahead looks like an uncrossable sea, we can step forward in faith, knowing that with God, nothing is impossible. Luke 1:37. The Exodus reminds us that no matter how daunting our Red Sea may appear, our God is a God of deliverance. He can part the waters of our troubles and lead us to the other side. Just as he brought Israel out of slavery into a new land, he can deliver us from the slavery of sin and fear into the abundant life he has prepared for us. Let this story encourage you today. God is fighting for you. When you feel surrounded by enemies or overwhelmed by waves, lift your eyes to him. He will make a way. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. Proverbs 3:5. He will direct your paths, even through the sea, and bring you safely to the shore of his promises. Share your thoughts about this theme in the comments. Subscribe to the channel Narrativas Biblicas, and share this content with your friends to spread the word of God.